The Veterans Group of Philadelphia assists veterans experiencing homelessness along with veterans who are in need of other services. Jose Martinez is the executive director of the Veterans Group.
In 2007, four individuals saw that there was a need for, at the time, homeless shelter in the city of Philadelphia that focused on veterans and veterans issues. So they established they established the organization in 2007. Prior to that, the building was called the Greaser House, which was a boarding home, and they decided to go the direction of providing services to veterans. The organization, what we do best is empower veterans. We don't consider ourselves to be a shelter. It's more of a community home for veterans to come who are in different stages of their life. Like it's so hard to tell, but it's like some veterans are in need of VA benefits. Some veterans are in need of housing. Some veterans are in need of drug and alcohol recovery. Some veterans are looking for help with post-traumatic stress disorder. So there's no template for what we do. It's basically we just kind of see what the needs of the veteran is, and we try to help them to get those needs. Veterans are the best community networkers in the world. If something is really going good, if there's an organization or agency out there that's doing good for veterans, other veterans will tell. So I see veterans all the time who need help with their VA benefits, and you see veterans all the time who are looking for help with post-traumatic stress disorder, for drug and alcohol recovery. So every veteran has a different story, and what we try to do is identify what success will look like in that veteran's life. Some veterans come in who are already 100% service connected, so they're receiving all their VA compensation, don't have a drug and alcohol problem, but just want to go to school. Right now, we currently have 40 veterans staying at the house. Of the 40, I would say 20 are in the 55 and year old plus category. And then we have about 6 who are under the age of 25, and then there's like a hodgepodge in between. So we deal with a small population of post 9/11 veterans, a huge population of Vietnam era veterans, and then we have a small, maybe larger than the post 9/11 veterans, but not as big as the Vietnam era veteran population of what we call Cold War veterans.
The Veterans Group has helped countless veterans over the years. Some of their stories are especially noteworthy.
Entirely, Mr. Glackland found out about the Veterans Group through the VA. He was referred to the Veterans Group from the VA. At the time, he was undernourished, extreme alcohol dependency, just came out of detox at the VA, was close to death when he came to the organization because of all the things to withdraw from, alcohol is one of the toughest. So the time he spent going through withdrawals at the intake at the VA Philadelphia, it was tough for him. Let's put it that way. Plus, he's up in age. He's up in age. He's plus 55, Vietnam era veteran. He's dealing with other health issues. So you couple that with trying to go through what he just went through. So he was in really bad shape. Wasn't receiving any money from the VA. There was a problem with a lot of his paperwork. So he was a veteran who was suffering from Agent Orange. He was exposed to Agent Orange when he was in Vietnam. Also was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and wasn't receiving a dime of compensation from the VA. And when he came to the house, he started to get physically better, but his demeanor, his just about it was always depressed, always angry, and you know, rightfully so. I mean, he was someone, and also, you know, he served his country, served the country honorably, and wasn't receiving any compensation. And I took an interest to him. This was when I was just a volunteer at the organization, and I basically hand walked him through all the paperwork, through all the process, went to doctors with him, got the reports that I felt would be good for him, filled out all the paperwork, put everything in the mail. He wasn't, and to be honest with you, he wasn't really like, he didn't think it was going to happen. He just, I guess because he's been told no so many times or denied so many times, he just kind of went through the process, but really I think he was kind of just going through the numbers because he really didn't believe it was going to happen. And then we received a letter 9 months later that he was approved for his first 50% service connection, which he was ecstatic. His whole demeanor changed, his health changed, everything started to change. He started decorating the house around the holidays. He just became like this really nice guy that everyone wanted to be around. And then now of recent, we got him up to 100% service connected. So yeah, he's kind of on cloud 9. So the majority of the gentlemen who live in our house have experience some type of trauma.
Right.
Not necessarily combat trauma,
Mhm.
but if you're homeless, if you're involved with drug and alcohol, if you this is some type of
Something
trauma.
that sticks
Something,
with you,
yeah.
right.
So we have a board certified psychologist who comes twice a week
Mhm.
and actually does one-on-one counseling with the individuals and group sessions with them.
Wow.
And what I have seen since it's been about 6 months since he started doing this,
Mhm.
and what I've seen is that conflict is resolved a lot easier than before, where guys would be a little bit more hostile. Because one of the things that we talk about is conflict resolution. When you have 40 people living in a 41-bed facility,
Right.
there's going to be some conflict.
Right.
But since Dr. Cohen's been coming in and doing the group sessions and individual sessions, what I've noticed is that guys tend to handle it a lot better than they used to.
Mhm.
They communicate it when there's an individual who's not following the rules, as
Right.
opposed to allowing it to fester and become a problem. So yeah, I think that the post-traumatic stress disorder therapy is kind of encompassing of everything. It's really helping the entire group.